Jazeera from reporting inside Israel. So Hamdah, seeing live pictures there of huge crowds on the streets, protests everywhere. Remind us why we're seeing this on just such a scale.
Well, this is, in fact, the largest protest in a single place in Israel's history. Organizers say 500,000 people are in the streets of Tel Aviv, and 250,000 others are spread across the country, including West Jerusalem, Haifa, and Rishon LeZion, which is near Tel Aviv. But let's get to the reason why these demonstrations are happening in the first place. This is nearly a week of consecutive protests after the Israeli army announced that they had recovered the bodies of 6 Israeli captives from a tunnel in southern Gaza a week ago. And that didn't bode well with the Israeli public because, according to Israeli military intelligence, those captives were alive just a few days before their bodies were recovered. And according to leaks within Israeli media and on-the-record statements from Hamas officials, some of those captives were actually going to be released in the first phase of a ceasefire deal that never happened. So now families of captives are saying that this is Netanyahu's fault, that he has blood on his hands, and he's the main impediment for why there hasn't been a ceasefire deal just yet. This demonstration, in fact, is the largest in Israel's history in one single place. And it just goes to show you the level of frustration that the family members of captives, the Israeli public, and the movement of the demonstrations is facing 11 months into the war.
So widespread protest at how Benjamin Netanyahu has handled this war. Are these protests, are these huge crowds on the streets likely to force Netanyahu's hand at all?
Well, look, it's certainly an interesting question because Netanyahu has seemingly been unfazed in whatever pressure comes his way, whether that has been domestic or international. He said that he's still going to prosecute the war however he sees fit. And he said that he has red lines when it comes to a ceasefire deal and prisoner exchange that would see the release of the remaining captives. But he says he has incredibly tough red lines, but he blames Hamas for adding new conditions when, in fact, leaks in Israeli media from anonymous officials say that Netanyahu is the one with the increasingly tough stance, that he is the one that is continuously adding conditions. And the Americans are saying that if both sides want a deal, there's going to have to be major concessions that Netanyahu says he is not willing to compromise on. You also have to remember that he is in the most right-wing government in Israel's history, a coalition of members of the far right who are known ultranationalists who say that Netanyahu is in fact not being tough enough when it comes to the war on Gaza, saying that they would bolt the government if there was a deal that they considered unfavorable to Israel. So there are a lot of moving parts here, but nonetheless, these large crowds are surely to make some sort of mark in Israel's history, but it's not really known exactly how it's going to make an impact on Israel's government.
All right, Hamdah, thanks for that. Hamdah Salhut reporting there. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.